Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In my last video I did a full comparison of everything you can think of between the 2023 Dodge Charger Scat Pack with the 6.4 liter Hemi V8 and the 2026 Sixpack Scat Pack with the high output 3 liter twin turbo Hurricane inline-six cylinder. That was very in-depth, covering a lot of areas like the exterior, interior, suspension, wheels, brakes, and more. Both the cars are very similar, but one of the most glaring differences is the exhaust. Today I wanted to focus more on that, gathering some clips of each of the cars and compiling them here to listen to. So first I'll briefly talk about the performance and power, just to give a little bit of context to each motor and car, and then we'll get to the exhaust sound. Starting with the older Scat Packs, these are powered with the 6.4 liter Hemi V8 engine with a 10.9 to 1 compression ratio. These had a max output of 485 horsepower at 6100 RPM and 475 pound-feet of torque at 4100 RPM. The Sixpack Scat Pack comes with a 3 liter Hurricane twin turbo inline-six high output engine with a 9.5 to 1 compression ratio. This results in 550 horsepower at 6200 RPM and 531 pound-feet of torque at 3500 RPM. Over the 6.4 liter Hemi V8, that's a 13% bump in horsepower and 12% more torque. We can also note that the Hemi makes its peak torque higher in the rev range at 4100 RPM, whereas the Hurricane high output delivers the peak torque lower at 3500 RPM. As for the performance times, the previous Scat Packs can generally do 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds with a 12.4 second quarter mile. The Sixpack Scat Pack can do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds with a quarter mile in 12.2 seconds, so a few tenths of a second quicker for both of those, and considering the all-wheel drive, there will be far more consistent launches. Dodge claims a 175 mile per hour top speed for the 392 Hemi and 177 mile per hour for the Sixpack. So as promised for this video, onto the exhaust. The 2023 Scats had 2.75 inch exhaust pipes with 4 inch tip stock. This exhaust uses an active exhaust valve that changes the exhaust note by opening or closing a flap in the exhaust system, allowing for a louder, sportier sound or a quieter, subtle sound depending on the driving conditions. Here's quite a few clips highlighting the sound of that beautiful Hemi V8. Now, despite being more powerful as we can see, the 3-liter Hurricane won't sound like the outgoing Hemi V8s. Dodge says the new Scat Pack has a performance-tuned active exhaust with a dual mode with electronically controlled valves and a different tune for each of the 5 drive modes, and 4-inch roll dual exhaust tips. Here's a long listen on all the clips I could find of the new Sixpack sound.
This is more than a direct descendant of your origin story. It's a direct connection to the spirit of the past while powering this brand into tomorrow. Oh yeah, that wasn't the sound of the Fratsonic chamber in the Banshee. That was the scream of the most power-dense internal combustion engine Dodge has ever installed in a muscle car. In 2025, the all-new Charger will also be available as a 6-pack.
So that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed listening to these 2 muscle cars. Does anyone think the 6-pack sounds okay, or is everyone on board Team Hemi for the sound? I'd exchange being a few tenths of a second slower for that exhaust note on the Hemi V8. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar content, and I'll see you all in the next video.